All right, welcome back, everybody, to another session of our World War II Marvel Superheroes campaign in the Mouth of Madness. If you all haven't been watching the series, I encourage you to seek out the Dreamslayer Studios channel on YouTube so you can see what has gotten us to this point. And if you like what you see here tonight, don't forget, support us on Patreon so you can kind of catch up on some behind the scenes goodies. And speaking of behind the scenes goodies, we've got t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, all different kinds of accoutrements featuring characters and themes from our games. And you can find the links to our Teespring and TeePublic stores in the links below our YouTube videos and podcast episodes. And with that, let's get that out of the way and we'll recap what happened on the last episode of In the Mouth of Madness. The Reclaimers found themselves locked in their deadliest battle yet, facing the mad Arab Abdul al-Hazred and the twisted progeny of the Dweller in Darkness, Despair and Spite. Deep in the tomb of al-Hazred, the cultists' infernal summoning ritual threatened to tear open the veil between worlds, unleashing an ancient cosmic horror upon the earth. As the Baghdad battery pulsed with dark energy, fueling the ritual, the Reclaimers fought for their very souls. Fear and despair clawed at their minds as Despair's nightmarish illusions attempted to break their will, while Spite reveled in their suffering, draining their strength with her wicked sorcery. Al-Hazred, utterly consumed by his madness, chanted furiously, his ritual reaching its crescendo. And with every ounce of strength, and with the divine power of the hoary hosts of Hogoth, the Reclaimers turned the tide. The battle left them battered and shaken, but in the end, they emerged victorious. The summoning was dispelled, the Dweller in Darkness banished once more into the void, and the Baghdad battery was finally in their possession. And now, the Reclaimers turned their attention back home to America, Brooklyn, Maine, to be exact, and the Goddard site, an archaeological dig where history and myth collide. Their mission, to uncover the Goddard Coin, the final artifact needed to complete the legendary Eden mechanism. As the Reclaimers return to familiar ground, they must be wary, for the greatest dangers may be waiting for them right at their doorstep. So, that's pretty much kind of where we left off. I had to kind of go back in my own notes and recall exactly where it was that the Goddard Stone was said to be located, according to your little map that you guys have brought along with you from Wakanda. So it is leading you to a space in Brooklyn, Maine, somewhere that Will probably would be fairly familiar with, called the Goddard site. It's a fairly recent archaeological dig that has uncovered lots of Nordic artifacts that are much further inland and much older than what was originally thought would be present at the time that this would have been buried. So,
Yeah, I imagine Will probably knows at least the general area, if not the dig site itself.
mm-hmm.
So that's not a problem. He can get us close, if nothing else. I mean, yeah. Okay.
So you guys have had some time to kind of recuperate, heal up from the battle with Al Hazred and the Dweller in Darkness. Probably have kind of taken a couple of days to probably recoup back in Egypt at the bed and breakfast that you guys have a tendency to kind of stop in at in your overlays. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of time to kind of talk and discuss a bit on where you are, what the plan is, and anything else that you feel like maybe needs to be addressed before we make the trip over to stateside.
I think we need to decide where we're putting the battery. That's an important thing too, because we were splitting up the artifacts and trying to make sure that no one person knows where all of them are.
Right. Well, I mean, Will and I can put the battery in another site and keep them separate.
Right. But then you're going to know where they all are. So if somebody gets in your head, I mean, it's the least likely
Yeah.
for them to get into your or Will's head, since you two both have the most strongest brains.
I mean, it's training and road.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I don't know. I don't have a problem with you guys taking care of it.
Well, I don't know where all of them are. He's put a couple of them in a different place that I don't know where is. So,
okay.
I mean, that's some insurance.
Well, my only concern then is, and I hate to do this while Don isn't here yet, because I would love to give him crap about this. Does his darker half, we'll call it, have access to all of his, knowledge and memories and stuff? In which case, we don't want him to know where all of them are. Just because of that.
I don't know. I don't know that.
The other option is kind of do it through, a double blind need to know spy thingy where we ask Peggy to find someone she trusts to hide it without telling us who they are. And the person she trusts won't tell her where he hid it, or she hid it,
Well, we did that already, and he was controlled by the Shadow King. So.
Oh yeah, good point. Okay, so yeah, let's not try that again. Apparently, there's lots of people we can't trust.
I mean, it's no fault of his own. Was he?
How about like some time capsule? Aren't they always burying like time capsules? So they can dig them up in, 1985 or something, and see what kind of primitive lives we all led when they got like the flying cars and the robot butlers and stuff.
Well, I mean, we will theoretically want access to them again, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, maybe. Yeah. So maybe not. Maybe something a little more accessible than that. I know some hiding spots back in Hoboken.
Well, no one would certainly think to look there. That's for sure.
I would just need Will to, take me to, a particular, like, cross street, and then I can run off with it and go hide it and then come back, and he can bring me back, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, that is a way to keep.
How long does that crystal encasement thingy that you do last? Is it permanent?
I mean, is anything permanent? But
okay, but
let's
you know what I
say
mean.
A very long time.
Okay. Then it's in the crystal, so that's good. So it's not gonna accidentally, like electrocute people if they pass by or something.
It should not, no.
Okay, cool.
I mean, unless I grossly misunderstand this, which is possible.
Okie doke. I know just the spot.
Okay. Well, presumably Will could take you there. You could hide it wherever it is you're going to hide it, and then come back to him.
Yeah. And then we come back to you.
Yeah. Okay. That's
or Hank.
Plan.
Or, I mean, I'm sure Hank's got some place back home where he's from where, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I could hide the next one, and then that would, be
Or tank. Yeah, I'm
mhm.
sure you got some spots. Or I mean, we could hide it in Wakanda, but I feel like maybe the king would be a little cross with us if we did that.
Yeah, they kind of want to keep their heads down during this war, and probably not that good idea to get them too involved.
All
You
right.
know, they already kind of helped us by letting us meet there with the submariner dude. So I wouldn't push our relationship too much.
Mhm.
That makes sense. All right, yeah, then I guess I'll take this one and you take the next one, tank.
Sure. I got some, there's some places in Allentown ain't nobody goes.
Right on. I like it. Let's
Okay.
do this.
All right. So, you guys are able to take care of the Baghdad battery. Bombshell takes it back home to Hoboken, hides it somewhere that she believes is safe. I have to preface it with that. It very well may be safe, but I don't even know where it is, so.
So maybe it's there, maybe it's not.
And again, you guys kind of take a little bit of a breather before you make the trek back over stateside. I think Don looks like is on his way in.
Okay.
So we'll kind of get him caught up here in just a moment. So while we're waiting on him, is there anything else that you guys really feel like you need to discuss about anything else?
I think we're good. I think it'd be interesting going back to America, get some fifth columnists and other scum that are infiltrating our country.
Well, it would certainly be nice to be closer to home.
And not having to use this translation thingy.
Yeah, and getting some real beer.
All right, so Don, welcome, sir. Just to kind of get you caught up, we are getting ready to head over stateside to search for the Goddard Coin. So you have at least a little bit of knowledge about this because this is kind of kind of close to home for you. You've been kind of probably itching to kind of, number one, get back home, and number two, kind of really see this particular spot with your own eyes. You're aware of the Goddard site where this coin was discovered. It's a prehistoric archaeological site in Brooklyn, Maine. And the site itself is notable for a large number of stone artifacts found, most of which were sourced at locations well removed from the area, and for the presence of worked copper artifacts. It was particularly notable that there are items there that are Nordic in nature, which suggests that the Norse were present in the United States well before what most historians had estimated. The Goddard site itself is located on Nesquig Point, the southernmost peninsula of Brooklyn, Maine, which is located on the Blue Hill Peninsula west of Mount Desert Island. The site offers an unobstructed view of the surrounding waters and islands and was apparently a major summer encampment and trading site. And a large number of artifacts have been recovered from that site that originate all across the larger region. Finds include pottery remnants of a sort usually found as far off as New Jersey and Nova Scotia, and worked copper, some of European origin that were found in the late ceramic period.
This is the
Oh, hello.
Yeah, sorry.
The radio's on. But speculation basically has it that this coin, the Goddard Coin, would have been brought to the site by native traders, since it kind of postdates the abandonment of the only Norse settlements in North America. But the provenance of this coin, claimed to have been found at the site by an amateur archaeologist and old coin collector, is now disputed. While there's no argument about the coin itself being authentic, serious questions have been raised about its actual discovery and its true origins.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and just so you know, Don, you got a free trip to Hoboken before you got on.
Wait.
Well, not free. You were
I
the one
feel- I
taking
feel
us.
like it's way out of character for Will to be at New Jersey.
Okay, well, so I guess the Hoboken trip happens, which is, unfortunate because it's New Jersey.
It's New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been to hell. We can go to New Jersey.
That's home, okay?
Hell
He
is one
does it.
thing. This is Jersey.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry. All right, so we made it to Maine, or are we prepping for that, or?
It depends on what you guys really want to do now at this point. Will, you know for sure that, the coin has been retrieved. And it's been passed around from place to place over the recent years since it was originally retrieved. But you know that the Goddard site itself is still active,
Gotcha. Sorry.
and still being... it's still an active dig site.
There's a chance that we'll be able to find something at the Goddard site that could lead us to the Goddard coin, right?
That's a possibility.
Why don't we see if we can do that? It's not like the trip takes us long.
Right.
And it's not in New Jersey.
Just death glare. Just death glare.
Yeah,
Well,
I was born in New Jersey,
Yeah, that's right.
and I left.
Hey,
Right. She did the smart thing.
okay. Well, how about our, compass? Does that point us in that direction, or no, or?
Well, again, with it being so distant right now, yes, it's basically pointing west.
Gotcha.
But from there, it's kind of hard to really pinpoint.
Okay, so we need to go stateside anyway, and we might as well go to the Goddard site because, I
Yep.
mean, there
We
may
gotta pick
be
a location.
some indicator there anyway, right? So, okay, well,
yeah. That's definitely the best place to get jumped by a bunch of super baddies.
in Maine?
Have you been to New York?
No. I was told it was too dangerous.
I feel like that's changed for you now.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm going first chance I get.
Stay out of my cookies.
Okay, well, Professor, if you will do the honors.
We'll open up a portal and take us to the Goddard site.
All right. So you open up the portal. Everyone kind of steps through, and you guys come upon kind of the edge of the Goddard site. It's nighttime when you guys arrive. And you can see that the site is kind of lit up in different places with a series of kind of makeshift torches here and there. A couple of them conveniently are perched within the hands or the palms of a couple of large, almost Nordic-looking statues. But within the flickering firelight from these torches, you see down in the furthest pit of the Goddard site a group of 4 individuals that are kind of standing around like a pedestal that has recently kind of been cleared off, that's kind of encircled by a set of stairs. In the middle of this pedestal, there is what looks like a table or a platform of some sort, and there is an individual that has been laid out on this table. And I'm going to pull you to this to the map here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Stretched across the table is a man in kind of khaki, a khaki shirt and a fedora that is being stretched by kind of a makeshift, like old-fashioned rack. His wrists are kind of tied, and they've got this rope and pulley system. And these 4 men that are dressed strangely like construction workers are, it appears to be torturing this man.
Well, that's not nice.
And
No, it isn't.
you can hear from the distance that you're at. It's kind of hard to make out exactly what they're saying unless you've got, really, really good hearing. But you can kind of hear the guy that's on the table saying something to the effect of, "Listen, even if I knew where the coin was, I would have told you before you threw me on the truck. We're here at the site, and I am telling you, I got no idea where the coin is."
I just need to know, out of character, how much karma would it cost for him to be a contact?
You guys certainly run in the same circles, I think.
Yeah.
So I would say,
Dr. Jones.
why don't you make a roll on popularity?
Okay. You know what? I'll spend karma. Good thing, too.
Yep.
That's not. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Mine didn't refresh. There it is.
Ah.
Okay. So if you call karma to get that up to a green, you would be looking at a 41. So 10 points would get you up to a green.
Okay.
So you guys are familiar with one another, maybe had met at a party or two over the years, but maybe not. He may not recognize your name right off the bat, but he might recognize you.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, what do the men look like that are torturing him? And I'm already in the air, so.
So they are dressed in kind of what appears to be like construction type equipment with like hard hats, and each of them are carrying either a weapon or wearing something that looks maybe a little bit out of the ordinary. The guy in the bottom right is carrying a very, very bulky, very large crowbar. The guy on the bottom left, right here, has what appears to be a big wrecking ball. The guy in the upper right-hand corner has a pair of like metallic gloves that run up all the way up to his elbow. And then the other guy up at the top left and I kind of had to very quickly throw this together because I couldn't find the right picture for this guy. Has a metallic helmet that goes over his entire head, so it's a little bit different than the workers' helmets that some of the other guys are wearing.
So seeing that they're torturing this poor man,
Mm-hmm.
Shelly immediately is going to take to the air and zip forward and yell, "Hey, you let him go!"
And I'll follow her.
Because that's the tactical thing to do.
Go ahead and
Reveal your
shield up and
position
put the
immediately
cannons
and
on.
present yourself as a target. That's what you do, right?
Right.
Will covers his face with his hand. Just
When I see her doing that, I'm gonna try to help, though. Maybe I can distract them from the guy they're torturing. I don't want to risk. I want to throw something heavy, but to distract them, but I don't want to actually try throwing it at them because my aim ain't that good, and it'd be just my luck to
hit the dude on the table.
Yeah. So I can rip. It looks to me like there should be a lot of big rocks and boulders around here somewhere. I will tear one out, and I will try to throw it to basically land about here. If you see where I'm clicking, I'm not sure if the. Yeah.
I gotcha. All right, so we're gonna kind of treat that as though it's all kind of happening simultaneously. Bombshell, you're trying to get their attention, correct? You're not actually making an attack, right?
Nope, not making an attack because that would be smart.
Are we supposed to be rolling for initiative? Because I see Bombshell has.
You certainly can, yes. Yeah.
I saw there was an initiative order up, so I was like, let me just. Oh, right.
And Spartan, I will roll for you.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Nice. Well, you know.
All right, Will, what's your bonus?
+1.
Bombshell?
She has her sword sheathed, so none.
Okay.
Mine is 0. Spartan is 2.
Assuming she can fly with it sheathed. I've never asked that before. Or does she need to have it out?
That's a really good question. I think she would probably have to have it out.
I think so too. Yeah. All right, +1 then.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how that works, but whatever.
Priest, what's your bonus?
+4, because I said he put his cannons on when they started flying.
Okay. All right, I think that is everybody except for Mr. Arcane, who rolled a rock, along with Indiana Jones.
I mean, they probably want to talk shop.
Rolled a rock.
Okay, so you've certainly gotten their attention. Tank, you toss the rock in their general direction. Did you want to go ahead and make that roll just to see how well you did?
Sure. You know, and I better spend some karma because the last thing I need to do is roll like an 01 and have it go, I mean, the guy out of character, this guy's kind of used to running away from rolling rocks, but so that's going to be throwing, which is agility. Yes, agility?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to calling some karma on that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see what I rolled.
25.
Oh boy, yeah. Okay, I have to bring up my chart. I normally have it brought up, but I had forgotten now. So that'll probably take more than 10 comma to.
Yep, going to take
karma.
26 to get you up to 51.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just take that 26
All right.
off the old chart.
Shelly, you want to show me where you and Mr. Arcane flew to?
Sure. She has quite a bit of speed. I don't know that she would have flew all the way. Maybe she would have. Let's see. What does her speed work out to? 7 areas is what?
Oh, and I mean, truthfully, since we really weren't in active battle at that point, I mean, you can move basically wherever you want to.
All right,
These-
she's gonna make a really good target and just fly right up here, then,
Okay.
and just yell at him and be like, "Hey, you stop that!" In her super effective and authoritative voice.
He's going to pull a Marty McFly. Hey, you, get your damn hands off of her.
Exactly.
All right, so with the combination of the two of you flying in, Bombshell shouting at him, and then all of a sudden a giant rock landing right behind you guys, it certainly draws their attention now to you. And the guy here in the upper left-hand corner shouts up, "Hey, who are you supposed to be? And what the hell are you doing here?"
Stop and use.
"Oh, come on, pretty face. Why don't you and your boyfriend go take a hike? We're a little busy down here."
Mm-hmm. Don't be disrespectful.
She will reply on her turn.
That's the nicest thing a New York construction worker has ever said to a woman ever.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, she's kind of inclined to hit one of the other guys instead. Said it was pretty.
The guy on the upper right, this one right here, is going to reach down, pull one of the bricks off of this platform, which causes Will and Indiana Jones to cringe a little bit. Reaches down, pulls the brick out, and then flings it in the general direction of the two floating figures up above as he says, "Now go on, get out of here."
Oh, I have a feeling that's probably... You know what? I don't really have a great defense against heavy rocks. I'll be honest.
Got
Me
a
and Indy
75 to
simultaneously
hit.
say, that belongs in a museum.
Yep. Well, it's not my turn yet, but I guess dodge.
Yeah, you
Can I
certainly
dodge?
try to dodge. Yes.
Okay. Do I roll for multiple actions now, or should I wait till my
No,
turn?
You can wait till your
Okay.
turn on that part.
Okay. Alrighty. So dodge is agility. No column shifts for any talents. I don't believe. So forgot to call karma,
Oh,
like I
dear.
always do.
Oh boy.
Yep. She just steps into the, she just kind of glides into the rock face first.
Yeah.
She misjudged the angle. She thought she was going under it, and instead she just went face first.
Okay. And you are going to take incredible damage.
All right. And since that was face, I'm gonna say no body armor on that one.
Well, I mean, it probably did not hit your face. He only got a green, so he didn't get a bullseye.
Okay.
So that would have
All
been a
right.
called shot. So yeah, it probably is going to hit your armor.
All right, I'll take 20 then. My reinforced steel coat. Legacy of a player who's no longer with us.
Mhm.
All right. So, Will, it comes to you.
Okay. So, the heck are we? We're all the way up there. Okay.
Way up in the corner. Yep.
Okay. So I can move
Yeah.
how much? 2, 5, 6, 7. How many squares can I move?
Well, 15, but that's moving down a ravine. If you're going
I'll
on
move
foot.
like 7, I think, on foot.
So
Is that possible?
Well, it's going to be treacherous to get down that way.
Then how about I spend 100 karma and I try to power stunt flight again?
Okay.
Because that seems like a better idea.
You should totally spend karma on this roll.
I'm going to spend karma on this roll. I have managed to do it once, so that means I need a yellow.
Oh, ooh, good.
That's much easier.
Yes. But I don't get it.
Because the die roller hates us.
Oh man. All right, so make an
So I'll just
agility feat.
Oh no. I'm going to spend karma on this too. It's going to be awesome the first time that the fiend shows up. It's going to be because we'll fell down a hill.
Oh dear.
I did say
yeah, that's
You did
I
call
did call-
karma.
I
so,
did call karma.
Yeah.
yay.
So you got to get up to 41.
So another 10.
You kind of take a step off thinking that you're going to float down there, and like Wile E. Coyote, whoop, whoo, and you hear this little bucket, as your feet are trying to make purchase on the edge of the crevice there. And you end up sliding down, but you don't take any damage, but you take a little bit of damage to your pride.
I take a lot of damage to my pride.
But you still have an action if you so desire.
Let's see. So we've got a bunch of schmoes down here.
And taking a look at the layout of where you are right there, if you look over kind of to your southwest, right over in this area here, these little platforms, you could get on that platform down to the next and down to the next level a little bit easier there. So
let's see. Which of these guys threw the rock?
that would be this fella right here, pile driver.
Okay. We're going to try to use TK and throw him like this way somewhere. Because he cannot be trusted around expensive and priceless things. So he needs to go.
He can't be trusted.
I will spend karma again and be much more successful this time. Nope. Exactly as successful as I've been.
31
Wow.
this time. So 10 will get you your green. How much damage does that do?
40.
Okay.
So he gets that creepy black glow around him, and then all of a sudden just goes whoosh, like he's on a string.
And sending him back in that direction?
Yep.
All right, so he hits the wall and then slides down in between the staircases right there.
Good. Not touching any priceless artifacts.
All right, priest.
I'll go ahead and roll for multiple attacks or multiple actions. I'll call karma on it. So that should.
Yep, that'll get you up to a red, which will get you your 3.
Okay. For my first action, I'll try to finish off a power stunt. I'm gonna try to finish off the one that grants me armor, or grants someone takes away their armor using the ionization. And I'm gonna focus on the one bulldozer who has the helmet, since it seems like that might be, particular to what he's going to be offering as offensive and defensive capabilities.
Gotcha.
I'll go ahead and call karma on it too, because I really want to go ahead and get this thing done.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Hey,
cool.
there you go.
So, let's 100. Okay, cool. And I'll take one of the plasma cannons off of of auto and leave the other one up, and I think I'll hold my actions here for later use in the round.
Okay. All right, so now it comes to the Wrecker. And he jumps up on top of the table, over top of the man that's stretched out, and he raises up his crowbar, and he says, "One more move, and I crush this dude's skull." And bombshell.
You're muted, Jeff.
He's facing me, isn't he?
He is, yes.
So yeah, I don't think she's willing to risk the man's life. However, lightning's pretty fast. And he is holding a literal lightning rod. So
That had occurred to me. Like, I bet it's really conductive.
So, in all fairness, Shelly does not move.
Uh-huh.
The lightning just comes right out of her eyes, and she just looks up at the crowbar and goes, "Okay, I won't move." And then, kaboom! But first, multiple actions.
Mm-hmm.
Karma.
Oof.
Oh no!
It's a good
What
thing
is my life?
Good thing you guys aren't fighting the Dweller in Darkness.
Right?
36 to get you up to a green.
Ow! All right, 36. All right, so that'll get me 2, right?
Yes.
Two actions.
Total of 2 actions, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, and now we roll to shoot him with the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Also, karma.
Ah, and it's
69.
a 69. It's a 69.
Excellent.
Nice.
So, do we treat that as a red, or is it just for the?
Well,
Special.
it's definitely a red and
Okay.
and little bit of bonus. So, why don't you describe to me what happens?
So, yeah, Shelly's like, okay, I won't move, and then boom, the lightning comes out, strikes the crowbar, and it just keeps coming, and he's holding it, and he can't let go of the damn thing, and he's just like, you know, and gets lit up, and you can see his skeleton through his skin and everything, just like, ah!
All right, so he is how much damage does that do?
That does 50.
50? Okay. Well, it kind of doesn't matter in this case because he is certainly stunned, and once the electrical energy subsides, he basically stands there smoking for about 3 seconds, and then crumples backwards, doing the Nestea plunge off of the back of the table.
I personally think he should have crumbled into a little tiny pyramid of dust.
Pyramid of
with
dust.
Two eyes that blink once or twice.
Good stuff.
Now, the other guys around here, I think we're going to make some rolls for these fellas. That's a white. That's a red.
Ooh.
That's a yellow. Okay. This guy right here, Thunderball, with the big wrecking ball, kind of sees what just happened.
I just want to note one thing. It looks like, at least what I'm seeing, is that you rolled Thunderball 3 times.
Oh, I did. They all have the
Okay.
same
Oh,
basic
that's great.
reason,
Oh,
so it was
okay.
just easier for me to do that.
Oh, sure. I just wanted to make sure.
He begins to run. And he's attempting to try to find his way out. Unfortunately, it's going to take him right past you guys to get to this ladder. And he's got to go through everybody to get out of there. But you've scared the living bejesus out of him. And he was like, nope, I'm out. I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Yep. I don't blame him.
Feats don't fail me now.
And you have another action, I think, Bombshell.
Oh, I do. That's true. I will fly down here, plant my feet next to Dr. Jones, and use my sword to cut him free.
Okay.
And shoo him in the direction of no bad guys. Like, shoo, get away, get over there.
And you cut him loose, and he's like, thanks, darling. And he kind of rolls off the edge and starts heading in the direction of this guy here, which is, I think, Pile Driver, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to come to Spartan next.
I don't see myself on the map.
All right,
You're up in like the upper left-hand corner. It's very hard to see.
Okay.
yeah, it's a little dark up there.
Oh, there I am. Thank Christ. That's me. I will jump down. Because I'm athletic. I assume I can do that.
Yeah, you have tumbling and all sorts of cool powers, so yeah.
And I will jump down again.
Yeah, and that would get you about as far as you can get.
And I assume that's my move.
That's your max move, yes. But you can
throw
still... Yeah, you still have an action.
Let me see here. I'm going to throw my spear at Thunderball.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to call Karma on that?
Yes, I do.
And you can click the amazing button then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good thing we put the Karma on there.
Yeah.
But
Okay, but
oh,
oh wow, I think there's probably something wrong with the algorithm. Okay, you need 13. It'll only take 13 points to get you up to a green at least. I will take that off.
Okay.
All right, so you fling the spear at Thunderball as he's mounting the ladder to climb up. He is going to roll in agility. 64. So you catch the fabric of his uniform, and it kind of sets him a little bit off balance, and he kind of stumbles backwards. Doesn't do any damage to him, but he is now on the kind of balcony area here overlooking the pit.
Does my spear come back to me, or does it stay in those clothes?
I think it probably just pierced it and then kind of came through. So yeah, you're able to call it back to you.
Yeah.
All right, Tank.
Oh, I don't, tumble and do all that fancy acrobatic stuff, but I'm really hard to hurt even by a fall. So I'm just going to take what many people have suggested I do and take a flying leap off the cliff and just kind of ka-womp down there, which probably causes a minor earthquake. And let's see.
Tank, buddy, I would never say that to you.
And I would repeat.
I think I heard Will say it.
I will repeat that process to get to there. And is this a fancy bit of pottery over here?
Yes.
I'll grab that, so I'll just have land there, and kind of roll it like a bowling ball down the ladder to try to hit him.
All right.
Does this look important? Because I'm going to use it.
It's all important.
Meanwhile, I'm sure Indy is like, that belongs it up.
Oh,
Dustbin.
Yeah.
We'll get some super glue.
No.
That'll be fine.
That's going to be agility, I guess, to kind of roll it down the ladder and whap into him.
Yeah.
Kind of like I'm trying to basically do like bowling,
Yep.
or throwing a discus while also rolling it. It's kind of a new Olympic sport. Definitely putting some karma on that because none of my combat skills are going to apply. So this is just going to be a straight up agility roll. Oh, not bad. I can actually bring that up to a yellow. I got lucky. So typical 78. Typical 78 is, wow, I just spent a minimum 10 karma and I get it up to yellow.
Excellent.
All right. So you take the pottery, roll it in that direction, and it
Very fragile pottery.
dunk, and it hits him directly in the face as he's trying to push himself up, and it causes him to tumble backwards even further down into the pit, right back in there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it did any damage to him, but it did damage that extremely valuable piece of pottery.
We're saving the world from the Nazis.
There are no Nazis here. They're from Brooklyn.
It's true.
Indirectly.
Thunderball now, his pride has been hurt, and he is going to kind of bound off of the floor of the pit in an attempt to try to make it up to the same level that Tank is on. We're going to see how this goes. Nope. He leaps and trips
Okay, I hate it when that happens.
and ends up right back at the base of the ladder where he started. And face first.
I feel like the Benny Hill music is just playing a lot during this fight so far. It's not going well for anyone.
Bulldozer goes next. And he kind of flips around at this point, sees that Bombshell is there, and he points his head in her direction and starts to run. Now
It's terrible for your cervical spine.
It is. He doesn't have very far to go, so he's not building up a lot of speed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to roll endurance. Got a 78 to hit.
Oh, no.
That's probably going to hit. Yep, that's going to hit all right.
And it does incredible damage. Now, the thing is that his helmet is no longer helping him out at all. So he also takes incredible damage.
Oh no! Does he knock himself out?
That's a definite possibility.
Oh no!
So let's see. That's going to put him at that, and he's going to roll endurance again, and he's out.
Oh my god!
He just knocked himself out on my boobs.
Out for 7 rounds.
How does that work?
It could be worse. I mean, I definitely could think of a worse fate.
They're generally pretty squishy. That should have at least cushioned him a little bit.
It's the armored coat.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
All right, Mr. Arcane.
Okay, so Dr. Jones is he fighting Pile driver?
Well, he's running in that direction, and Pile Driver is kind of like seated and kind of shaken off, the impact, and Jones looks almost like he's patting him down, and he's like hitting him in different spots, like he's looking for something.
Gotcha. So he's searching him. Probably.
Yeah, seems like it.
Okay, and is Pile Driver, is he stunned or no?
He is not stunned, no.
Okay, but Wrecker is stunned, at least for the moment,
Mhm.
right? And Bulldozer knocked himself out. Thunderball is fleeing. Okay, so Mr. Arcane, and I'm gonna have to name my little friend, unless he has a name.
Say hello to my little friend.
Speaking of little friends.
Yeah. So he's going to invoke, well, an entity he doesn't normally invoke, although he has a few times lately. And he'll wave his hands, and unlike his customary green power signature, they will glow a ruddy red. And he will say, "No, let the crimson bands hold you fast." And I'll try and use the crimson bands of Sidorak on Pile Driver.
Okay.
And let's see, it's my Psyche +1. Okay. All right, so that should be monstrous. And I'll spend Karma to try and lock him down.
Okay.
Let's
That should
see.
do the trick.
That should lock him down. But let's see what will 10 will 10 put me in a red or no?
Let's see here on the monstrous.
73 monstrous.
Need a 86.
Sure. Fuck it. I'll spend to get that red, and I'll try and lock him down. I don't think Pile Driver. Well, I don't know, but that guy who he's the one who threw the boulder, right?
Yes.
Or the brick.
The brick.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'll spend Karma up to get it up to a red.
Okay. Yeah, there's very little that he's going to be able to do to kind of prevent that from happening. What's the overall strength of that?
It would be monstrous.
Monstrous. Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. So you send the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, which you now have become all too familiar with after our last little battle.
Yeah, personally.
And you've seen how good they are, and they pin him down in place. Just as you see this archaeologist or professor, whatever he happens to be, reach into this guy's jacket and produce what appears to be a whip and a pistol.
It's got my stuff.
And he looks up at you, and then he looks down at this guy who's now wrapped in this red energy band, and he was like, "Is this you?"
Of course.
And he tips his cap at you.
Technically, it's someone else, but I asked for it.
Thanks for the assist. What are we going to do about that guy? And he's slowly starting to climb the ladder again, Thunderball.
He's got to get past Tank. I don't like his odds.
And Spartan.
Oh, yep, you're right there too.
Yeah, that's not good for
The
him.
aerator.
The aerator and the smushicator. Not good.
The smushicator.
Beth ordered the shirt, but it still hasn't gotten here, so I don't know if you can look into that.
I ordered some myself about 2 weeks before you guys ordered that one. I still haven't gotten them.
Oh,
is it being fulfilled through Teespring?
Yeah.
It took them 4 months
Jesus
to send me something
Christ.
last time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
God.
I'm going to pull my stuff off of their site.
I've been thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
is Cafe Press still around? They were always pretty good.
I think they are, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they said they're having some issues with shipping and production, and they've apologized to me. They gave me at least my shipping price back at this point. So if I were you, I would contact them, complain about it, and then maybe you'll at least get the shipping back.
Looks like Cafe Press is still doing their thing.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that. So there's your ad, folks. For maybe don't buy from them. Go to TeePublic instead if you're ordering Dreamslayer merch. maybe that'll teach them.
That's right.
Get a bad review. Okay. So I think that now should come around to back to Will at this point.
I have a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got a
back.
couple extras there, don't you? Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Having seen Spartan do her fantastic leaps down, it occurs to Priest, wait, I know acrobatics. And so he does the same thing. Comes down to around Will's level. And he takes the cannon that he has off the auto and aims it at Thunderball.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And,
morally?
What was that? What was that? I'm sorry.
He said, like, morally?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I've lost the
no.
reference.
You're good. Go
Like
ahead.
down to Will's level morally?
Oh, yes. Okay, I missed it too. Thank you for explaining that. I did not know what you guys were talking
Well,
about. I was just going to nod, and pretend I knew what was happening.
I don't think Priest is the
caught it,
type
it's
of
okay.
morality shame, so he goes ahead and tries to take a pop shot at Thunderball.
All right.
And it looks like that hits.
And that's 50,
that-
right? Or 40?
40.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then after that, since it's the end of the round, his cannon will also shoot. He's not trying to kill Thunderball, just subdue him. And at the end of his round, he looks at Will and he says, "You all right, man?"
Yeah, no, it's great. Great. No, I got down just like I wanted to.
Cool. And that's all his actions with that round.
All right. Will, now it's your turn.
So Will's going to move over here where he can see Thunderball climbing up that ladder, and he's going to be very helpful.
He just got shot in the face like twice.
He just got shot in the face. So is he near the top of the ladder, kind of in the middle?
He is basically at the top of the ladder and like holding on with one hand.
Let's repel borders and just flick the ladder so it just falls backwards.
Okay.
Just use TK to topple that ladder back over.
Bink.
Pretty much. It's exactly, he just holds up his finger, he goes, eh.
Oh no!
Oh, well, I was going to grab the ladder with him clinging to it and smash it against the cliff. So, it's all good.
All things considered, he's probably pretty happy that he got the repel borders.
I know, right? Okay, so I'll spend karma because I'm going to roll a white. Yup.
Oh, boy.
Called it.
He called it.
Yup. I have not rolled above a 35. Time. I have to get up to a 31, is it?
On the incredible, yes, at 31.
Okay.
All right, so he was already kind of leaning back just a little bit to kind of get his bearings, and then all it took was that just little nudge, book, and it's now going backwards, and he goes, oh shit, and falls directly on top of the other guy right next to Shelley. So he now is at Shelley's feet. Priest.
Go ahead and move down one more terrain. And I'll take a shot at Thunderball.
guys, I think maybe he doesn't want to fight anymore. She just kind of looks down at him. Maybe no.
It don't
All right.
matter.
You're going to sleep, buddy. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, 40 for that.
40 on that. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'll hold on to my my remaining actions in canon.
All right. Oh man, he's a tough bird. He just
hanging
keeps
on.
getting hit.
Oh, he's got a lot of he's got a lot of hit points. All right, cool.
All right, Shelly, it's you.
So he just like looks down at him. Eyes probably still sparking a little bit residually, and he's like, "Would you like to maybe surrender?"
Yep.
Okay, we can stop. He's gonna surrender.
Yep.
Cool.
Good
I
choice.
yelled,
Good
tie
choice.
him up.
You said
I think he's gonna behave himself.
You said you're gonna tie him up. Is that what you said, Beth?
I said, tie him up. I'm not there though.
Shelly offers him a hand up.
He reluctantly kind of takes it, and then he's kind of surprised by your grip strength as you pull him up.
Yeah, just kind of haul him up to his feet. Okay, so, now that all of that's sorted out and you understand your position in this whole situation, what were you doing to that gentleman over there? Why?
So we were hired to kidnap that fella and bring him here, and we're supposed to find some sort of coin or something and deliver it to the fella that hired us.
And who was the fellow that hired you?
Well, I don't know him personally, but he goes by the name of Captain Axis.
Captain Axis.
That doesn't
So
sound
you were
right.
working with a Nazi. I mean, he didn't even try to disguise it. He didn't call himself Captain Amazing or anything. He says, "Hi, I'm Captain Axis, and you worked for him."
Wait a minute, what's Axis mean?
Okay, all right.
You're not
I think
that dumb.
okay, I get it now. See, he's me like a month ago.
Mr. Arcane, I have every faith that he is in fact that dumb.
He's not possibly that dumb.
I don't
Captain
know who
Axis?
Booster is.
I mean, take a peek. You two
I
can
just
do that.
I look at him real close and I'm like, okay, do you think axis means more than one axe? Do you think it means something
Like a
that
trigonometry
pivots?
Well, honestly, yeah, I thought it was Captain Axis, like two axes.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
can't possibly be true.
I mean,
He stands there floating, arms crossed. That can't possibly be true. Raven on his shoulder.
So I'm assuming that these guys have a feeble or poor reason.
Would it be okay to say the priest has a newspaper that he has with him? He just throws it down and then big headline letters. It's like Axis, blah 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 something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Axis
attacks.
powers
Yeah.
terrorize Europe.
Yeah.
you guys are assuming they can read.
Oh, good
That's
point.
true.
Because,
No,
I
that's just
mean,
hurtful.
I suspect they're not overburdened with an overabundance of schooling.
yes.
Mercifully free of the ravages of intelligence, as the old movie said.
Oh, but come on now. They've seen the let's see. I guess the movies, right? They've seen the shorts from the front lines.
You would think.
Newsreels.
Mr. Arcane is not having it. He's like, no, I don't believe this is not possible.
Well, can't you peek inside his head?
I think technically I can try.
I mean,
I think it
see if
has
he's
to be
I
an
don't.
intelligent target, though.
And,
I don't know that it
that's-
matters if
that's
he's lying
me
or
now.
not. I mean, I guess it depends on how we treat him. whether or
As,
not
If
it's
as you
straight.
guys are
Dad-
doing that, the grizzled archaeologist kind of brushes past everybody and goes over and starts picking up the pieces of the pottery.
Oh,
And he's like, "Who threw this?"
Not it. Shelly just holds up her hands.
It was available.
This
So-
belongs in a
In a
museum.
museum. Yeah.
Okay, get a sack.
And
let me see
Arcane, were
here.
you wanting to kind of
Yeah, I
peer
think
into his head?
technically, yeah, I think technically I can use telepathy. I can use the all-seeing gaze of Agamotto's all-seeing gaze to peer into his mind, and I can use telepathy. Well, at my actually, I make a psyche feat, and I can use it at amazing because that is such as the
Is it a
sight of
crown?
Agamotto. No, that's
Oh, okay.
yeah, the crown just lets us communicate telepathically. It doesn't let me use the telepathy power.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I thought it did more than that. Okay.
Well, it also gives me mental resistance, but let me see here. Let me make sure it's telepathy and not mental, because it lets me do telepathy, mental probe, and actually technically mental control. Well,
If
either
you
way,
can-
they're all at amazing. And it
Okay.
feels like those are all the things that I would need to read his mind.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and make a roll there.
Yep. Okay. Alrighty. Well, you know what? I'll spend karma because that's what I do. All right. All right. So that's amazing. 55. Amazing. Oh yeah, I'll spend 10 to get that up because it's 61 is the minimum anyway. So I'll get that to a yellow.
All right. So this guy is that dumb.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, taking a look at him, I mean, he is an African American male, and a black dude working for the Nazis doesn't make a whole lot of sense, for sure. And what you do see, kind of in the mind's eye, is kind of the last, like, just kind of a flashback of about the last, like, 48 hours or so. Where the leader of this bunch, the guy that's unconscious behind you over here, the wrecker, had been contacted by an individual that he said was named Captain Axis, which this guy interpreted it as Captain Axes.
Oh my God.
And he said that they've been hired to kidnap a fella out of New York at a convention and bring him to this particular site to have him search for something called a goddamn coin.
So he's reading his mind, he's probing his mind, and so he's muttering under his breath, right? While he's doing it. And he's
Face
like,
palming.
yeah, it's like, no, it's axis, not axes, plural.
Mr.
No,
Arcane feels dumber
Goddard,
having read this man's
yeah.
mind.
Goddard coin, not goddamn coin. How did he even? Okay.
They were also given a location of a warehouse that they were supposed to go to before kidnapping the archaeologist. Within this particular warehouse was a crate that contained the items that they are carrying. The large metal crowbar, the gauntlets, the helmet,
And the Ark of the
and the
Covenant.
wrecking ball.
I was gonna say, don't look.
No, that warehouse is in DC.
Oh, right.
Okay, so they got these items from there. All right. So
and
we
then
should
you
put them
see
back.
them going to the convention, confronting this archaeologist and throwing him in the back of a truck, and then traveling all the way here. So
Okay, so they went, armed themselves, went and kidnapped him, brought him here, and that's where we came in. And so they were trying to get him to talk. So he's relaying this actually telepathically, because I can do that with the crown. I mean, he's still muttering no, dummy, it's not axes.
Will,
Did you see any
Will just laughs and it's like, so he had a gun and a whip at a conference? I can't say that I oppose the idea, honestly. I've been to some conferences where it would have been useful.
I mean, I guess I say be prepared. Easy for me to judge, I suppose. I'm never unarmed.
So, Mr.
Question.
Archaeologist man,
yeah, I suppose you're talking to me.
well,
Or me, actually.
or you, or I mean,
Oh,
but
I'm
I know
no
your name. I don't
archaeologist.
know his name. So they think the coin's here. What do you think it's here?
The coin?
The coin's not here.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves.
Probably a good idea.
Look, you
Oh yeah.
You all are obviously super types, right? I mean,
No, I'm not.
I mean,
He says floating.
You
He says
definitely are,
floating.
because I saw what you did to that guy over there. Do me a favor, put some earmuffs on these guys if you can, because I'm not going to talk while they're still up and running, because I don't know who you all are, and I definitely don't know who they are, but I know what they want.
Oh,
we
we're
could
the
just leave
reclaimers.
them. Yeah, we could just leave them. We should
Um,
disarm them.
I mean, their weapons are kind of, I mean, a crowbar,
Or-
really.
What if we just knocked him out?
I mean, we could do that.
I don't intend to keep hitting people that have surrendered. If that's your method, I can't say
Well,
I'm
we
down
can't
for
really
that.
call the cops. I mean,
Yes, we can. They
okay.
kidnapped this man.
Yeah,
true.
but isn't this like supposed to be a secret site and all?
No, it's an open
It's-
archaeological
yeah,
dig.
it's an
Oh, hell
archaeological
yeah,
dig.
okay. No, then call the cops. Okay.
See, that's why the thing that you destroyed was priceless, and don't do that again.
Yeah, I don't think I could really promise that, given what we do.
Or who he is. I mean,
Um,
I haven't
please.
destroyed anything.
Is there
I
any rope
appreciate
around?
that.
Can
Seems
I
like
at
Spartan
least
had the right idea.
I'm gonna
poke
put him in a
them
dark
in
force
the
bubble.
knee?
Okay.
That should muffle the sound nicely.
Do we have a radio on us?
I don't have a radio.
Well,
don't.
the earpiece that you have does allow communication.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Can we contact? Maybe not Peggy. I don't know if Peggy's back stateside, but local army.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, not through that. No.
Okay.
No.
The truck that they brought you here in did it have a radio?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't see what was up front.
All right. Well,
So they're stuck in that big hard bubble, and we can just walk over here where they can't hear us.
Gotcha.
oh, good.
So you guys kind of take a little bit of a hike from where the wrecking crew is now being kind of sequestered, and this guy introduces himself. He says, "All right, first off, let me just tell you thanks for the assist officially. I have no
welcome.
idea why these guys had me targeted and brought to this site. I know why they wanted me here once they got me here. But the Goddard Coin that they're looking for has not been here for probably 5 years or more. What brings you all here?"
The coin. We're the reclaimers.
No,
We
not the coin.
not the coin.
We were hoping that there would be a similar energy pattern with the coin to some of the artifacts that are still here. We might be able to use it to then locate where the coin currently is.
Yeah, but that's why we're here.
So you are looking for the coin too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to keep it out of the hands of you know who.
He means the Nazis. She means the Nazis.
Yeah.
I kind of gathered that. So you're working for the government?
Uh-huh.
Reclaimers. You look familiar.
I'm
No, not you. The tall, dark, and handsome over here.
Sup?
We've met, haven't we?
Yeah.
Can't place the name.
Professor Will Wagner?
Wagner. Jones. Indiana
That's right.
Jones.
Indiana. Okay, sure.
They named the dog after me.
That was nice of them.
They named the dog after me.
Right, I saw you give a speech on ancient Sumerian artifacts a couple years ago at the thing in Princeton, I think.
Yeah, one of many places.
Yeah, I remember it because I was in New Jersey.
Yeah, you and I kind of run around the same circles.
Yeah.
see, Jersey's not all bad.
So this is my first time really kind of seeing... What are you, super soldiers?
Sure.
No, I'm none of those things.
Nope.
Special operatives.
Yeah, we kind of just do some stuff that has to get done.
So then what's your interest in the Goddard Coin?
I mean, I wish I could say something catchy like Fortune and Glory, but really, mostly what it is trying to save the world.
Could you be more specific?
I could, but I don't think you're cleared, so... Okay, fair. I just wanted to say that to somebody for once and have it mean something.
Well, you know, if we're being honest, we're not entirely sure either. But I mean, we know why we don't. We know that we don't want other
Yeah, we know
the
they're
Axis
after it.
powers to have it, and if they want it, we don't want them to have it.
It ties into Atlantis in some way.
And it's one of a series of artifacts that are linked together in some way, but we're not entirely certain how.
Well, you seem to know at least a little bit about what it is that you're after.
I kind of leave that, that stuff up to them. I just kind of hit what's in front of me.
Now, he is a soldier, and I suppose by definition super. So
I am switching back to human form since
And
we
so
seem
she.
to be currently out
That's
of.
fair.
he
Yep.
points
I'm
to Shelley.
technically a super soldier, I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm neither of those things.
I'm a tenured professor, so no, I'm just a consultant.
Well, I've made it my personal business over the last decade or so to keep things like that out of the hands of the Nazis.
Then we are alike.
And wow. It's a shame we didn't run into you earlier. We could have really helped each other.
This coin that you're looking for, you said that you've already been going after other things, right?
Yeah.
In fact, this is the last.
The last of
Of
a
the ones
larger
we know.
mechanism.
Yes.
What kind of mechanism, Doctor?
What kind of mechanism do you think it is?
He looks around and he says, if I'm being honest, I think it's an alien mechanism. Not from out of the country either.
An alien mechanism with a particularly religious sounding name. Am I right?
Like,
Yes.
so telepathically, he says to the others, "I think he knows what we're looking for."
Yeah, he
He-
knows about the
He knows. Yeah, he
the
knows.
Eden mechanism.
Yes, like a garden.
You're so cagey. You're really good at keeping a wrap on things. I'm not so great at that.
So, you've already retrieved some of the other pieces.
Yes.
Yep.
They're tucked away.
The Roman dodecahedron,
We have that.
Antikythera mechanism,
Are we sure?
Got it.
Telepathically,
Got
are
it.
we sure we should confirm all that?
Baghdad battery.
Not saying where they are.
No, I'm not
Got
asking
it.
where they are, just making sure that you know what
Baghdad
you're
battery.
talking about.
Yep.
We have it.
Yes.
And the Russian tooth wheel.
The what now?
The Russian tooth wheel.
That was the one I couldn't figure out.
Surprisingly, no actual teeth.
Thank God.
Gears, yes, but no actual teeth.
Lots of teeth in the zombies, though.
So the Eden mechanism is what you
Human.
guys are. Are you trying to put it together?
No, we're trying to keep Hitler from putting it together.
Yeah, I don't think we know enough to be doing that.
Yeah. See, we know that those guys know, and I just kind of believe them because they seem to know what they're talking about, how dangerous this stuff is. So we're not trying to use it. We're just trying to keep the bad guys from using it.
Well, and that's what I've been trying to do as well. So really, we are working towards the same goals. Now, I'll be honest with you, the Eden mechanism, honestly, I thought it was a myth.
So
But
did I.
I mean, everybody thinks
Yeah.
Atlantis is a myth too.
A year ago, I thought mummies and demons and vampires were a myth, and I've learned better. So,
No, I knew Atlantis was a real place.
well,
yeah, it's down south near Georgia. In
Atlanteans
Georgia,
are
it's in Georgia.
noted for their sorcery. That's Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm aware of Atlantis. I haven't seen it firsthand, but I've heard the stories, and I've heard of this prince of Atlantis that has kind of made his appearance during the war. So, if that's possible, anything else can be. If you are, in fact, trying to keep this Eden mechanism out of the hands of Hitler and the Nazis, I can tell you, I know who has the coin. I just don't know how to find him.
Well, that would be helpful.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know where he is, but I might have a lead on how to find him.
Who is it?
Ooh, that's good.
So the coin was passed around from place to place over the last several years, and it finally ended up about a year ago in the Maine State Museum for study. But it was recently purchased by someone claiming to be an expert on Nordic mythology. A fellow by the name of, and you're not going to believe this, Nicholas Scratch.
Are you kidding me?
No. Now, either that's a pseudonym, well, I pretty much know it's a pseudonym.
It would have to be.
It's an adopted name, and probably just for a little bit of flair. But I'm fairly certain I know who his mother is. See, this Nicholas Scratch supposedly is the leader of a community that's somewhere way out west. But nobody's been able to prove exactly where this community actually is. I've been looking for it, and I've only had a few run-ins with people that have said that they have been there or were former citizens. It's a place called New Salem. Now, supposedly, this is some sort of mystical city located in Colorado.
Wait, Salem? Like you mean where they had witches?
Well,
New
that's
Salem.
here. New
That's
Salem.
not far from here.
Yeah, so New Salem.
mean,
so they
if
have,
he's-
they have
if
new
he's
witches?
If he's calling himself Nicholas Scratch, he's really leaning into the whole witch and the occult thing. So
Right,
most
and
definitely.
Devil, old Scratch.
Now,
Yeah.
my understanding is this quote-unquote New Salem was colonized somewhere back in the early 1800s, maybe late 1700s. But nobody's been able to prove that it's an actual real place, and everything that I've heard about it is pretty much hearsay.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do I know anything about New Salem or?
You have
this-
certainly heard about it. You know that it is
Oh, good.
it is an actual place. You've never been there. You've never been invited.
No, it is an actual place. I've never been there, but I believe I know where it is. I think I certainly could find it.
Yeah, you know it's in somewhere in Colorado, but exactly pinpointing it, like I said, you've never been there, and
Yeah.
it might take some work to get there. Jones continues. He says that there's a woman who lives in Salem, Massachusetts, who claims to be a former resident of New Salem. This is the woman that I have had some dealings with, and she's an occult expert. Her name's Agatha Harkness.
Okay. Do I know anything about who that is?
Why don't you make a reason feat with your occult knowledge?
I'll spend Carmen. Yeah, I'll push that to a yellow.
Mm-hmm. Agatha Harkness is a very well-known witch that rivals the power of the Ancient One.
You mean the witch? He says.
There are some that refer to her as such, and she certainly has a lot of interesting things around her abode.
She's a very powerful witch. Very powerful.
I've seen some things in my time that statement doesn't necessarily surprise me all that much. I've been to her place on 2 other occasions. I know where she lives, and I have heard her speak longingly of her son.
Which is
She called him Nicholas.
oh.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing how this is fitting together all of a sudden.
So you said you've heard her speak longingly of him. They are estranged.
Seem to be estranged, yes.
Okay. Well, perhaps we could. Perhaps I could speak with her. We could speak with her.
I can take you pretty much right to her front doorstep.
Okay.
Do you know her? Have you spoken with her?
Yeah, like I said, I've been there, on 2 separate occasions. I've had some dealings with her. Anytime I've got something that really dives deep into the occult, she's a good contact to have.
Oh, okay.
She could be a little standoffish. I mean, I'll warn you of that. And
That
if
is
we
not
start
surprising.
talking about her son, Nicholas, I really don't know where that conversation's going to lead, but I think it's worth at least a shot. She's the only one that I know that claims to be a former resident of New Salem.
Well, we could at least talk to her. She's close, and if nothing else, we could, I suppose, head to Colorado and I could start looking, because I know that's where it is. I just don't know exactly where.
It's a lot of land.
It is, but I mean, all right, Colorado's a big place, but we know where it's not, right? I mean, there are some major metropolitan areas, and I mean, that could give us some indication of where it might be.
If it's a town full of witches, could they use their magic to hide it from you?
They could use, I mean, anything is possible, right? But would they be using it to hide it from me or hide it from the rest of the world, right? Which I'd be able to maybe figure out. It's hard to say. I
Well-
mean, it would be better to talk to
If Miss
Harkness.
yeah, if Miss Harkness used to live there, maybe she'll tell us how to get there.
It's very secretive, but maybe we could convince her. I'm not certain.
Well, hopefully she's not a fan of the Nazis.
Maybe we could, maybe a good turn for her.
Maybe.
And she could do one for us. Maybe.
Only one way to find out.
So, on another note, I don't know if you all noticed, but those particular items that our wrecking crew here had, is there any way that we can get those weapons off of them?
I mean, I did suggest disarming them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured if we tied them up, that we would take their weapons away, put them in a pile somewhere at least.
I mean, this country has plenty of safe deposit boxes.
Well, that's assuming we can separate them.
Well, I'll go up to the nearest one. Yeah. Are there any of them? Okay, I will tank on again.
But will tank be worthy to pick up a pry bar?
Let's find out.
I don't think it works that way.
I don't think it does either.
I might be wrong.
Wander over to Thunderball, and I guess since he's Thunderball, he has the ball and chain.
Mm-hmm.
Says, sorry, but we're going to have to deprive you of this and try to take it from him.
All right. So it is attached kind of to a belt around his waist.
You know, I really don't want to see his, thunderballs. So I will try to leave the belt, but I will try to snap the chain.
Okay, for shame. For shame,
Yeah, sorry, it was low-hanging fruit, as it were.
so to speak.
I will attempt to break the chain.
Quote of the
Okay.
week. I don't want to see your thunderballs.
So you kind of maybe grab hold of the belt, grab hold of the chain, and try to pull it off of that. It does
More like grabbing the chain in both hands, like one hand nearest where it's attached to the belt, and
Gotcha.
the other hand an inch or two away, and just going yoink.
Okay, all right. So you give it a tug, and I mean, it looks like it's a bulky chain, but it looks like kind of a regular chain. It's a dark metal though, like almost black, kind of a gunmetal almost, with maybe just a little bit of a bluish tint to it.
Okay, a little weird, but I've seen weirder.
So you grab hold of it, and then you start to tug, and you pull, and you feel like, I'm strong enough, I can break this easy. Bink! It does not give.
Okay. Can I
What kind of metal is that anyway?
Can I make like a feat to raise my strength momentarily? Like really put my back into it?
You can, let's see here. I'll let you use your wrestling.
Okay.
You know, as like a grappling kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of brace myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised that, chains. It's not like it's a, aircraft carrier anchor chain or anything. So that would, if I use my wrestling, that would kick it up to monstrous. Do I make a roll?
Actually, I think it'll take it up to unearthly, right?
It depends, I think, on what I'm doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it gives you 2 column shifts, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, roll on the unearthly column.
Okay, I'm spelling karma on this because I'd be very embarrassing if, I mean, breaking things is what I do. Ugh. Great, even with karma. Great. All right, so 28. I need to kick it up to 50 to make it a yellow. So that's 32. I'm going to spend 32 karma to bring it up to yellow.
Okay. Now, you're using, the wrestling to really get a good grip on it. Now, that doesn't increase your strength.
Yeah.
And it still will not give.
Wow.
Okay, I don't think you got this chain at Pop's Hardware.
What kind of
Can I
metal is
ask-
that anyway? It's funny looking.
Looks
Is
like
it
you're
up?
gonna have to take both.
Right,
It
Yeah.
so
doesn't look like her spear, does it?
No, it's a different color.
Yeah, it looks like I am going to have to just tear the belt off, chain and all.
Now you're going to see us thunderballs.
I guess so.
Ah,
right, so Tank's having a hard time, and he shouldn't be, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, theoretically, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you know something about these weapons that they were armed with?
You talking to Jones?
Yeah, I'll talk to Dr. Jones.
He says, I don't know much about him other than those markings that are on him. Take a good look at it.
All right. Well, let's see. Is the wrecker still unconscious or, well, he's in the bubble, right?
Well, they were all in the bubble, I thought, right? But,
Oh, okay.
But,
All
right.
I'm assuming that we'll let one of them out at least.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll take a, well, since Tank has been dealing with wrecking Thunderball, I'll take a look at this weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And he said there were some markings, so I'll take a look and see what markings is he talking about.
Now, this crowbar that the wrecker had it's shaped like kind of a regular, everyday crowbar, but it's considerably thicker. It's probably about 3
That's
inches
what she
in
said.
diameter, and is about 6 feet long.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
All right. So he said it had markings on it, so I'll look for these markings.
Mm-hmm. All up and down the the shaft. That's what she said.
Ew.
You see runes that
Oh.
run the entire length, and without having to roll for it, you automatically recognize these runes as being very similar to a lot of the runes that are around the dig site here. They are Norse, ancient Norse.
So these are enchanted weapons, runic weapons. Oh, okay. That could explain why he's having a hard time. Maybe they're bound to them somehow. Well, the crowbar's been separated from him, right?
It has now, yes. Now, I need you to make a psyche feat, please.
Okay. Sure. I'll spend karma for that. Okay. I'll push that to a yellow.
Okay.
If there's some influence, I have some other stuff too.
Those of you that are just kind of watching Mr. Arcane kind of messing around with this and kind of flipping it over and looking at the runes, he's kind of just turning it over. You are watching him slowly start to grow in size and become rather muscular.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Arcane,
Yes.
I think Shelly might be rubbing off on you a little bit.
Well, I mean, certainly, of course, she has influenced me greatly.
Right. The
Why-
crowbar
why do
looks
you-
like it's trying to possess you.
I assure you, I am in full control of my faculties.
How
Why
are
do
your
you?
clothes fitting?
He like, you know.
They're kind of stretchy, so I mean he's it's early spandex. So
What do you mean?
You're
I
looking
mean-
pretty buff, man.
I mean, thank you. I
Like more buff than you were like 30 seconds ago.
oh, well, perhaps it's the
It's changing. You put it down.
perhaps it's the enchantment. I assure you, I'm fine.
You know,
you're
that sounds familiar.
Oh my God! Don't be me. I'm me, and it's a terrible thing. You can't be me.
do you actually look at yourself when they say
Yeah,
that?
I'll take a look
Okay,
when he
all right.
once he says that. I'll kind of look, assess my situation.
So your biceps now are about 13 inches in diameter.
Nice.
And your strength and fighting
Mhm.
currently are increased to amazing.
That's awesome. I'm like, this does feel powerful. No wonder these guys had such an easy time. So this so he, it's very academic to him, right? He's like, oh, well, this clearly enhances the wielder. So this is obviously we should confiscate these. I wonder, did I get a sense that any sort of presence was around or no?
Did you roll for that?
No, I mean, I rolled my psyche feat, no, but I can roll to kind of, I'm not sure what that would be, maybe mental probe to get some sort of, I'm out of, you tell me.
Well, I think it would probably just be more of a sense magic kind of thing.
Okay.
Probably.
All right. Cool. Yeah. All right. I'll spend karma for that too. That should be remarkable. All right. Well, I'll push it to a green.
Okay.
But
this particular site, just in general, is a node. So
gotcha.
This entire area is kind of a source for magical energy just in and of itself. So, I mean, immediately, you're keyed into that. All of these items are, without a doubt, enchanted, as you said. Tank, were you still kind of working on trying to get that belt off of him?
Yeah, I'm trying to just tear the leather. If I can't tear the steel, maybe or whatever metal it is, I can probably tear a belt.
The belt won't give either.
You should
How do
probably
you
just,
go to the bathroom?
should probably just unclasp it.
Yeah,
you
is there,
probably won't
is
be
there,
able
can
to
I,
destroy
can I
it.
just do a, open the buckle?
Yep, you open the buckle and you can pull the belt out without much trouble. And as you are standing there holding that, your fighting now increases to amazing.
I kind of whirl it over my head a little bit, kind of checking it out.
And let's see here if there's anything else. Yeah, you get some extra stuff. You just don't know what it is yet.
Well, people pick up souvenirs in war.
Do I? Okay. So, all right. Well, I did roll fairly poorly for my sense magic. Do I get the impression there's any kind of influence over Tank? Or any sort of thing like that?
I haven't had him roll his psyche feat yet, so he needs to roll psyche.
Yep.
I'm sure this is all fine.
Yeah, this is probably fine. I mean, it's definitely fine for
no
me.
worries. It's great. Easy peasy. You got this, Tank.
It's a
Tank
6-foot
is
crowbar.
famous for having a high psyche.
Yep.
So are you saying I got to make a psyche feat, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I should probably spend some karma on this one.
Eh,
Yes,
you got it. Who
What's
needs
the worst
karma?
that could happen? Oh my
Oh!
god. That's the worst that could happen.
Okay, but I said I was spending karma and I didn't roll a natural 1.
That's true.
so, okay, I need
True.
to spend exactly 40.
Oh my god.
I mean, having it, you can tell that something has changed within you, and it feels good.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. This could be real useful.
Well, I can't deny the power. I don't know if it's because they are powerful or because they are powerful and the site that we're on, because this is a place of power. No doubt that is why this was a site of note.
Shelley
That's-
takes a look at the blade of the Pharaoh's sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel any different here?
Does that feel any different here?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Make a psyche feat.
Oh, boy. I
Look at
mean,
my
hey,
big mouth.
she's so much better at this now.
Is she?
Is she? I mean, on paper, yes. Karma.
Why you gotta taunt the thing like that, Jeff?
I called karma. I
He
didn't
did, he
say
did,
what's the
he
worst
did.
that could
He called
happen.
Corbin.
Oh wait, I should have rolled on remarkable. Well, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't know. This isn't resist domination. This is something else.
Yeah. And did you call karma or no?
I did. I
Okay.
did. Yes.
So you're going to get it up to a green.
Yep. I just got to figure out how much that is.
So excellent is 41.
Okay.
The only thing that I can describe to you is as you're handling the sword, you feel perturbed.
Interesting. Just
And
kind of makes a face.
maybe a slight bit uneasy.
Yeah,
I don't like this place.
I feel like Will feels like there's already enough weird extra dimensional energies possessing his body, and he doesn't want to go for more. So he's just gonna watch this quietly and not make any psyche rolls.
Well, we should definitely collect these items. The 6-foot crowbar is about the right size for a staff. Just saying.
It does not go with your outfit, but whatever. I'm certainly not the one to throw shade.
Well,
I mean, I do have a raven now. It's
You're-
accompanying me for some reason. These are Nordic runes, Norse runes.
you're the occult expert, so I mean, if you think it's safe, then I guess it's safe.
I mean,
Maybe a more detailed examination.
that would probably be wise. But we should definitely collect them from
Yeah,
these
ne'er-do-wells.
these thugs.
You want to do the thing where you encase it in crystal?
Yeah, for now, that's probably wise. Just to seal them.
All right,
because
let's collect them up.
Yeah.
Get the hat off the guy.
And as you are collecting all of the items, you see the wrecking crew begin to shrink a little bit in size. Now, they're all fairly muscular anyway, but they're not at anywhere near as beefy as they appeared to be when they were in possession of the individual weapons.
Gotcha. So they were like larger than life before,
Yeah.
right? Now
Mhm.
they're just big guys.
Yeah, now they're just big guys. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have the wrecking ball. You have the
Crowbar.
crowbar.
Crowbar. Yep.
You've got the gauntlets, And then you've got the helmet.
Okay.
Shelly just kind of looks at the gauntlets and grins, but she doesn't touch them.
Well, if I can make certain they're safe, then I don't see why we couldn't
Right, yeah.
use them. I just want to make sure if there is some sort of influence.
Yeah, exactly. We should. I mean, that magic had to come from somewhere, right?
Well, it came from, well, I mean, they're empowered by Norse runes.
Right,
Nordic
but somebody
runes.
did that for some reason.
Sorry.
So,
You could probably ask Agatha Harkness about them when we're speaking with her. If she's as powerful as you've indicated she is, then
well, I'm just thinking, like, you think of magic weapons, right? You think of swords and shields and spears and stuff. You don't think of crowbars and balls and chains and
I mean, you're
helmets
right.
and gauntlets. Like, this stuff all looks pretty modern.
Well, I mean,
guess.
it's a staff, essentially a mace, chain mace, a helmet, and gauntlets. I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effort to. I mean, yes, they're stylized in a way, but I'd be curious.
You think they might be older items that have been changed to look more modern?
I mean, Norse runes. I mean, I can't say that I've seen anyone recently inscribing Norse runes on construction equipment.
Those are not. Those are not old.
No,
Not unless they're magic, which clearly they are. But
Yeah.
unless the magic makes them look young, those do not have any of the signs of an ancient
Oh.
artifact.
Yeah, well, I mean, neither does the crown. Neither does the crown. It doesn't look aged.
Will, since you're getting a good close look at them, why don't you make an occult knowledge roll or artifacts?
Artifacts I can do.
Yeah. Okay.
See how that was all confident, didn't call karma
You
or
didn't,
anything.
yeah.
Wow. Like a boss.
So there
You forgot,
is
I
in
did.
Nordic myth something called Uru. And it is a particular metal that is forged in the fires that are provided by the god of fire, Surtur. And when it is touched by this flame, it produces a metal that is supposedly indestructible. Now, you've never seen anything like this, but as far as the legends go, and the description of it being a metal as dark as midnight, this fits the description.
And that's the same metal that Brock and Sidri used to forge Mjolnir, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I want to bet that Loki started. I mean, almost everything's Loki's fault in Norse mythology.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
And in Marvel, too, for a good long time.
Will share that information. It's like, I mean, there is, if you go by Norse mythology, there are some stories about Uru metal that when the god or demon, really depending on the translation, it's not a direct kind of anyway, when Surtur exposes it to his particular kind of flame, it can forge an almost indestructible material. It's supposed to be black as midnight, which this stuff kind of qualifies as.
Yeah.
Indestructible, huh? That's cool.
Yep. I mean, it was the same stuff that they used to forge Mjolnir when the two Dwarf brothers took up Loki on the bet. Although he did mess it up so that the haft of the hammer was shorter. It was a whole thing. It was.
But it sounds like Norse Uranium.
I mean, I guess it could be, yeah.
Uru, uranium. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's all the same thing with different names, though. This doesn't really look like her spear.
It does make me kind of wonder whether her spear could pierce it, though. I'm not
Maybe
sure I
we-
necessarily want to be ground zero for that test.
Yeah, let's maybe not.
Yeah.
hope.
Let's not hit the magic doohickey with the super pointy doohickey.
Oh no, my intention is we give one of these to Stark and kind of mention it in passing and then leave.
Well, if you don't mind,
You know,
I'd like
turn him loose on it, but make sure we have a real fast getaway car.
Right.
And
Oh,
Jones
we don't wanna-
says, if you don't mind, I'd actually like to take a much closer look at one of those at some point. Not necessarily now, because we probably better skedaddle out of here. And maybe
just make
tie
sure the
these
cops
guys
know to
up
round
now.
these guys up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can place an anonymous call for at least trespassing on these guys. And this is a government-controlled site, so that should put them away for at least a couple of months.
Works for me.
Yep.
We could drop them off at that military base in Jersey and just tell them that they're working for Captain Axis. That'll take him off the board permanently.
Well, Dr. Jones, he doesn't know about our transportation.
Okay.
He was probably suggesting what he thought was convenient.
Right.
Yeah.
How
we should.
How did you all get here?
Kind of a
You're gonna
long
want a
story.
blindfold.
Well, there's one in the back of the truck.
It's yours, I think.
It was the one I wore on the way here.
Oh, good. It's already sized. That's awesome.
There are some things that probably you don't want to see.
Well,
I don't know.
regardless,
You're a man of knowledge. I mean,
however
that's-
you all got here, it's going to take us probably several hours to get to Salem, Massachusetts from here.
30, 40 seconds. We got this.
What's that now?
Said 30 or 40 seconds. We got this.
Shelley's gonna go fly and find his blindfold.
Will gestures and opens up a gateway.
See
Don't
all
worry.
that inky blackness?
Don't worry,
It wants
Professor.
to eat us.
Yeah, don't worry, Professor. Just step into the horrible, evil, inky blackness that will attempt to devour your sanity and soul.
I'm getting
And when
too
you get
old
out,
for
it'll be
this
even
shit.
you
worse
get
'cause
used
we'll
to
be
it
in
after
Jersey.
a while.
Stop
Yeah,
it!
good point.
Just reaches over and pokes you and gives you a little zap. Ow.
Will dies. The feed comes out.
All right,
Poke him
so
Stop
twice.
trying to will that thing out of here. Come on now.
You guys kind of round up the wrecking crew, tie him up. Indy goes up to kind of the office area, makes a phone call to the cops, and you all step through the inky blackness and then end up in Salem.
Mhm.
Okay.
Old Salem. Well, Middle Salem. Old Salem would be England.
Stepping out of the portal, Indy kind of stumbles out just a little bit and then immediately loses his dinner.
Yeah, that happens.
Kind of pats him on the shoulder. It's all right, and we all did it the first couple times.
And he says, well, all right. That was an experience I don't think I ever want to have again.
You get used to it.
So, we're in Salem.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me get my bearings. And he kind of takes a look around. There's a taxi cab coming by. He's like, taxi, we're not traveling that way again. And he asked the taxi driver to see if he can contact another one so that everybody can kind of pile into two separate taxis. And then he leads the way to where he believes that Agatha Harkness's home is located. After about 10-minute drive or so, you all pull up to this Gothic-looking building in the center of Salem. It's pretty much your atypical spook house from cinematic lore. The front lawn is lined with a rusty wrought iron fence, and a gentle snowfall has kind of dusted the barren trees nearby with a thin layer of snow. There are wind chimes up on the porch of the building that tinkle softly in the breeze, but they don't really play a sweet melody. They ring in a minor chord that kind of carries with it a little bit of a sense of dread. The house itself appears as though it's alive. Its large front porch is almost that of a mouth, with a pair of French double doors, and a pair of windows up on the second level that kind of give you the appearance of like a face in mourning. Smoke from a warm fire within trickles from the crooked chimney on top. Jones opens up the front gate to a loud creak.
Oh, as we're walking up, though, Chris,
Uh-huh.
I want to use my sensing mystical detection.
Alrighty.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Incoming headache.
Yeah. And I will use karma on this too. Okay. I'll push that to a yellow.
Okay. There is a lot of magic coming from that building.
Yeah.
And the node that you felt back at the Goddard site, it kind of pales in comparison to what's here.
Wow. Okay.
This is an extremely strong source of magical energy.
When he says truly a place of power.
The closest that you've come, like, it's not as powerful, but the yurt back in Camertage.
Okay. We should use caution.
Let me pull up a little mappy map for you here.
Mr. Arcane,
Yes.
you're familiar with this Agatha Harkness person, right?
I have heard of her.
How old are we talking?
Well, she's old. I don't know that she's... Well, she's not as old as the ancient one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Are we talking
Yeah.
somebody like thousands of years old, or are we talking about, 30?
I don't... Well, no. She's... Well, let's see. So, how would he... She is old.
Actually-
She is old enough to be powerful, which,
Okay.
in these circles means old, but not, I don't believe, ancient.
So hundreds, not thousands.
I would hope, yes.
Okay.
Jones has opened the gate and is walking up the pathway up to the porch. He looks over his shoulder and he says, "Are y'all coming?"
Yep.
Yes.
Sure.
Just who enter.
He reaches up and grabs hold of this oversized gargoyle-style knocker on the front door, gives it 3 raps, and after a few moments, a tall, wrinkled, but somewhat alarmingly attractive elderly woman answers the door. In her arms is the obligatory black cat that purrs softly in the embrace of her mistress. Agatha Harkness welcomes you. "Mr. Jones, what a pleasure to see you once again. What brings you to my humble abode this night with such a motley crew?" And Jones says, well, these are some new friends. We're all here pretty much for the same purpose. And it's a purpose that I think that you could probably get on board with. You know what I normally do. You're an artifact seeker. We know this. Yes, and it's been my duty for about the last decade or so to make sure that the Nazis don't get a hold of things maybe they shouldn't get their dirty paws on. Noble work that you do. This time,
Good.
Agatha, they're after something called the Goddard Stone, the Goddard Coin. And she is taken aback ever so slightly, and you see a little pause. I see. Well, it's a chilly night. Please, come in, all of you. Welcome to my home.
Nice to meet you.
And
Kelly gives a little wave.
she kind of almost glides across the floor as she moves into the house. As you guys all follow her in,
Yeah, I'm looking around. I've seen enough haunted house movies to know something's up. So I'm just kind of taking in the environment. I am in human form at this point.
You're the last one, Tank, to kind of enter, and as you do, the door shuts behind you.
Of course.
Of course.
It has to. It's in the contract.
The inside of the home, Tank, is immaculate. Well-kept antiques that range back to the Revolutionary War and beyond adorn the halls. And it's almost as though you've stepped back through time into multiple eras of American history all in one place. Surrounding you as you guys walk in, she leads you here into kind of the main hallway. And in the center of the hallway, right in front of the grand center staircase, appears to be almost an aquarium of sort, but it has like this kind of greenish glowing liquid in it. And the fish that are inside are like nothing you have ever seen before. Multicolors, some of them glowing iridescently. Several of them that almost look like underwater birds of some sort. Some of them that have these really long tails that have like fur on the end of them. Very, very interesting creatures. Also along the walls, next to some of the doors, there are tall glass cases that kind of also have a little bit of a greenish glow to them. And there are different relics that are inside of each of those as well. Mr. Arcane, you can see that they have kind of a magical kind of quality to them. I don't know if y'all can you see, y'all can see the whole map, can't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing our characters. I'm not seeing anything else.
Oh, you're not
that.
seeing
Yeah.
anything else? Okay.
Same here.
All right, give me 1 second.
Oh, there's a blue glowy
I am.
portal off to the right, but no background or anything beyond that.
Hmm.
There's a couple of little
I can
odd
see them.
dots and things, but like
I can see
doors,
the
I'm
map.
thinking, but I can't. Yeah, there's like some things I think maybe doors, but other than that, I can't see anything.
Oh,
Just
it's
a
too
big
bad.
black space.
So I experimented with this map, and it may just be that maybe your computers are not catching up to it. This is an extremely high-res animated map. So I'm wondering if it's just not transferring. Do you guys see stuff moving on the map, those of you that can actually see it?
I
Yeah,
do,
only-
but it started eating up so much system resources that I had to start shutting some stuff down because
Gotcha.
everything was
Yeah, me
breaking
too.
up a little bit.
I see people's mouse cursors moving around, but they're not even the normal cursors.
Gotcha.
They're just kind of little gray blobs.
This might also be why my stream probably died, because this is probably too high a resolution, like movie file. So
It's actually using kind of a lot of resources.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my task manager.
Gotcha.
Right.
Chewing up 18%, 7% CPU and 3 gig
That's
of
impressive,
RAM in
bro, for a
Firefox.
pro.
All right. Well, I'm going to take you back to the regular map, so that it doesn't eat everything up. But I'll just
Oh wow,
kind of describe.
That's funny, man.
that is
That's crazy that
that is
Chrome is
crazy.
eating up that much stuff.
It had me at 89.
Well,
Wow.
I was in Firefox. And that may have been also why it wasn't showing correctly. It might simply not work in Firefox.
I had
Okay, that's
all my
possible, too.
CPUs pinned.
Okay,
Wow.
mine wasn't anywhere near there. I think it was just not rendering.
And Jeff, you're basically running Ultron, so I mean,
I mean, it's a pretty beefy rig. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I've learned my lesson there. I know if I'm going to do an animated map, I'm going to have to go with a much lower resolution.
Yeah, that's probably
Or
why.
maybe
I mean, 'cause
not let
I've-
us see it all at once.
Oh,
I'm not
maybe.
sure how that works.
That sure was a pretty map, though.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
cool.
really, it was a pretty map. I was impressed.
So anyway, once you guys go into that main area, that was kind of what you saw. She leads you off to the right side into kind of a large study with a large oriental rug and an octagonal table with a piano off to one side, and then there's kind of a glowing cube that's sending off some sort of mystical energy there as well. She invites you all to sit down around the table and offers tea for anyone that would like a cup of tea.
I'll take one.
And
Ooh, me too.
she kind of
Don't
waves her hand, and then marching in from the nearby room up above are a series of cups and saucers and a teapot, and they all put on a musical show for you. And it says, "Be our guest, be our guest."
Oh, stop.
Will chooses not to partake of Stockholm syndrome.
I'm not going to piss off the witch. I'm going to be very entertained.
Yeah.
And eventually, after the show is over, the tea is poured, and you're all drinking from live teacups, which is a little weird, but they're kind of used to it at this point. But Agatha kind of sits herself separate from you all and sits in a rocking chair kind of close to the fireplace. And she says, "So, Dr. Jones tells me you are here to inquire about the Goddard Coin, yes?"
Yeah, that's about it.
Yes, ma'am.
What has brought you in search of such an item?
Well, it's a bit of a long journey and a bit of a long story. He looks to the others.
I have all the time in the world, my dear. If I've lasted this long, I can sit through a tall tale.
I mean,
Well,
might as well tell her the whole thing.
Yeah. So it begins. Well, I don't know. I suppose we don't really know where it begins exactly, but our involvement was that these soldiers and we have been asked to do our part in this effort, right? Against a great evil. And our part is to gather these relics to keep them from the Axis powers. And we've been all over the world and other places and have recovered all but just this one now.
that we know of.
that we know of. True.
Yeah, because they're like a couple hundred or something.
Well, no, those are the stones. There are only a handful of these artifacts.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The stones, there are many, but the artifacts are. But how many? I forget. I'm sorry, Chris. How many of the Eden
Let's
artifacts are?
see. There's the decahedron, the antikytherian mechanism, the Baghdad battery, the Russian tooth wheel, and the Goddard coin.
Okay, so just 5, right?
Yeah.
And then the drop of stones are also part of that. So there's at least a dozen of those.
Right. Well, and those are like power sources, that's what Mr. Arcane thinks they are. So this is the 5th and final one that we seek for some greater mechanism.
And she probably probes a little bit more for, your motivations, who you work for and so forth. And I'm sure you're probably a little guarded in your answers and so forth. Yeah. But she...
Oh, well, Mr. Arcane would say, oh, well, I mean, who do I serve? Oh, well, I mean, I serve the Ancient One, but today I am here on behalf of our government.
And she nods at what you say, and it's almost as though she knows what you're going to say before you say it.
All right, now I have mental barriers.
Well, and okay, so on that note, I mean, in all honesty, you don't feel her probing at all.
Okay.
And I mean, even if like she was so powerful, you still feel like you would be able to sense it. So whatever it is that she is doing is not directed at you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You're not feeling any energies coming off of her as though it's being invasive on you in any way.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, there's more than one way to skin that cat, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But she then kind of starts to dive a little bit more into not only these pieces that you are currently collecting, but what brought you together in the first place. And goes all the way back to, the Shadow King and Apocalypse and so forth. And somehow, and again, you don't feel like she's pulling this out of you magically at all. But she is inquisitive. She is gentle. She is kind. And you just feel like sharing certain things with her, even though you're kind of protecting some things, and some of the stuff you probably shouldn't talk about, and you hold on to that, but you give her enough information so that she feels a little bit more comfortable in speaking with you.
Okay.
And after giving her some of that information, she says, well, I must admire you for your fortitude in traversing the globe for all of these items of power. Many of them are, as from your description and from my knowledge of these items, dangerous artifacts. And it is of utmost importance that we keep these precious artifacts out of the hands of the Third Reich. I will tell you, I am a woman who has seen the earth toil under great evil and have been victimized by men who were horribly misguided in practicing their so-called faith. As humans, we fear what we do not understand. And it is due to this fear that I and my former brothers and sisters united in magic chose to remove ourselves from civilization centuries ago into the unsettled mountains of the Colorado Rockies. My husband and I, We were the overseers of our community, and we simply sought to live in peace. I bore a son in our home of New Salem, my poor young Nicholas. And yes, there's no coincidence that the man you seek shares the name of my son, for they are one and the same. Nicholas was enraptured by the powers that coursed through his veins and mesmerized by the energies that our community shared. As he aged, he grew power mad, and he took 7 wives in secret, each of which bore a child of their own, whose blood mixed with the potency of our bloodline. Eventually, I and my husband were ostracized from the beautiful city that we created, and my own son usurped control. He now sits as the overlord of New Salem, and he and his children are hell-bent on the destruction of the mortal engine, the ones that ostracized us and cast us out. I believe he has taken the Goddard Coin to further his machinations, to mete out his final vengeance on the mortal world. And this is why you've come here, to seek out my son.
To seek out the coin, we don't intend your son any harm.
I can assure you my son intends anyone who would come to New Salem harm, that is not first invited. And that includes you, and that includes me.
Well,
New Salem can only be reached by those who possess access to magical powers. And yes, you, Mr. Arcane, would potentially be able to traverse the barriers. I can easily transport you there, but I should not follow, as my son would be able to sense my presence as soon as I set foot on the soil of my former home. But
nice.
Oh, yes.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Well, my son is a powerful witch. Almost as powerful as I. Perhaps in the years that I have been gone and I have been ostracized from him and the community, it is possible he has passed me as a student sometimes passes their mentor. So I do not know what you would be up against if you are to travel there on your own.
Well, I don't know that we have any choice. I wish it were different. You described him as the overlord. That doesn't sound like the kind of community that you initially set out to create.
With his children, the Salem Seven, he has created a hierarchy. And the people of New Salem see him as a savior, a prophet. And for at least the last century, he has been preaching a war on the oppressors.
Let's see. So we intend to get that coin. But it's held by your son. Now, like I said, we don't intend him harm, but it sounds like we won't have any choice but to have conflict with him and his children, the 7.
I fear that you will be met with much force upon your arrival to New Salem. And not just by my son, but by the 7, and by potentially the rest of the citizens there.
Is there a way to sneak in?
How many of
Yeah.
you are in...
I mean, I'm not the sneaky type, but it certainly couldn't hurt to at least try not to just charge right in.
We know that Mr. Arcane possesses magic. I can sense magic coming from the sword that you, my dear, wield. I can sense magic from the pendant that the soldier wears around his neck.
We also did pick up a few things.
Good point.
We were actually thinking about asking you about them. Since... yeah.
Any magic that is unknown to the people of New Salem will immediately be recognized.
Okay. I
So
see where
you
you're going
will
with
be
that now.
targeted from the moment that you step foot across their borders.
I mean, I could leave the sword behind, but that's not going to solve the problem. It's not like we can leave you behind.
Is there a way to initiate being invited?
If there is, I would not know. My instinct is to tell you to simply be taken as prisoners, and perhaps that would just take you directly into the lion's den that is my son's quarters.
That makes sense. Don't put up too much of a fight, or any fight, and just let them think they got us.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I
That's
mean,
very
what
dangerous
about
among
what we
these.
do isn't?
Well, it's specifically dangerous. He could seal us away. I mean, if he has her kind of power, forgive me, I mean, he could banish us to another dimension. He could strip your will. He could.
Do you got any like amulets or something that can make like anti-magic armor? Like you got tanks that have, anti-tank weapon armor, that sort of thing?
Given a little bit of time, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. I might perhaps be able to give you a talisman of some sort that should help protect you from the magics of my son.
I would be happy to help in whatever way I could.
Fuck it.
But I believe... Yes. It will take me some time. I have enough space here in this home. It may not look like it, to accommodate you for the night. But I invite you to stay with me, and I will toil the night away and attempt to come up with something that will help protect you as you journey to my former home.
Thank you.
That would be greatly appreciated. Now, again, I will be happy to help you in whatever way I can. If that would make your burden less.
Yes, let's see what you're made of, Mr. Arcane.
He had to come in here with that name.
It feels weird. It's kind of a joke when that
And
was
I
given to me.
think with the time that we have right now, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and call it for tonight before we get into anything too crazy. Karma points for tonight's little battle with the wrecking crew. We're going to look at 200 karma points for that.
Okay.
And rescuing Dr. Jones, I'll give you an extra 100 there, so a total of 300 karma points for tonight.
Yay!
Right.
Saving Dr. Jones.
Alrighty.
And I got to tell you, that whole bit with the wrecking crew and Dr. Jones was not something that I had ever originally planned. I was driving home from work this evening, and I was like, "Oh, they haven't met Indiana Jones yet."
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "This will be fun."
And the
obviously,
fight played out in a very kind of slapsticky,
Oh, it did, yeah.
Spielbergy kind of like, this isn't the kind of fight you think it's going to be anyway.
And the wrecking crew obviously was not this old, but the metal certainly was. So I thought, well, what if a bunch of guys just got a hold of this stuff early? So,
well, this doesn't mean it's the wrecking crew that we know from the 80s and 90s,
exactly,
right?
yeah, not the same.
These weapons could have been
Definitely not,
around far longer.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was Tank last time that kind of made me think about that a little bit more, about going over to the United States and, not having been over there. I mean, you guys have been taking on Nazis and all these different other types of characters, so I wanted to give you something that was inherently American.
Yeah,
What if we
awesome.
just fight idiots?
That's very American.
Here's 4 dumbasses for you.
Right.
I'm right here. I'm just literally in the center.
All right, guys. Well, I needed a potty break about 30 minutes ago, so I'm going to go ahead and sign
All right,
off. But thanks for joining us tonight. I had a lot of fun, and we'll see you in New Salem in 2 weeks.
All right.
We're already outnumbered because there's 6 of us and there's 7 of them.
Well, plus 1,000
8.
or so. So yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
Well, I'm hoping that the inverse ninja rule also applies to witches.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Okay, thank you for GMing.
All right. Good night,
Okay,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all have a
you.
good one.
Yeah. See you. Bye.